Hi guys, welcome to another video. This time I want to show you something what I've discovered today, and I must say that I think I observed myself, and I figured out that I have somehow the talent, or I'm capable of translating things from geometry or mathematics into the philosophical, maybe metaphysics, psychological field of a human being, human mind, body, soul, etc. It's very interesting because when I see similarities in my results, what I've discovered is that when I look at mathematics or geometries or physicists, when they discover things, when they show theories and all that, I'm able to see in these things similarities in human beings. You know, the way we function, the way we motion, the way we rotate, the way we are, and what is based on that and all that. So I call it maybe a transcendental transformation into the human being in a psychological field, metaphysics and philosophical aspect to see things. And what I've discovered today is I did a video previously about it, I think 2 weeks ago. I was scratching on the surface. I was explaining about, if you guys remember, before I start, is what you guys have to understand is that there are people, they understand the phenomena of natures, and they are mostly like significance scientists, cosmologists, astronomers, physicists, mathematicians. They are translating the nature by observing the nature, the phenomena of nature. They know, they are capable to understand how it's function, and that's why you see the function is represented in graphic, in geometry, in mathematical equations. And then there are people, well, I'm not really aware of it, maybe I have to look around somehow, is they are capable of seeing through geometry, through mathematics, through diagrams, through the theories and concepts and mathematical equations in the physicists, in the mathematicians, in the geometrists, that they can translate it in the human being, philosophical, psychological, metaphysics way, how we function, what is the cause and effect, and how we can translate those theories into the human field, right? So let me start. As you guys know, I think 2 weeks ago I uploaded a video about a curved space in warp time, a curved space in space time. It's just notes I wrote down so I don't lose the line. I was telling you that when a physicist, a doctor physicist, was explaining according to a standard space-time diagram, curved space, how you calculate it. And I mentioned in the video previously that when he was drawing that he was actually imitating or copying a nature, a phenomenon of a nature. And by that I mean he was actually drawing a leaf. If you see that, right? If you see that, if I'm drawing, let's say, a leaf, has exactly the same structure, right? Doesn't matter in what form, has the same structure. So that's what I'm saying by transcendental understanding. So mathematics and geometry and scientists using the phenomenon of nature, using it to calculate things. So when I saw that he's drawing a leaf actually, and by explaining a leaf, he was explaining how a curved warped space function. I figured more and more out when I went deeper into it that it's actually transformable, transcendental to a human being, how we are function in our daily life and how we get influenced and how we act up according to the matter, the influence. So and that means that a curved warped space that causes matter, a curved warped space that causes gravity, those two things actually happens in our mind, right? So that means I was capable, according to mathematics, geometry, and physics, understand their theory, their concept in equations. I was capable to transform that in the human nature, in the human field, in the philosophical, in the psychological, metaphysics field, like the physicist and the mathematician was capable. I don't know if they were aware of it, but I saw that they were transcending a leaf into a diagram to calculate space and time. I'm capable to translate out of that the function of a human mind in a psychological way, how we act according up to information, matter in space, time, in our daily operation. So as we know that a curved space diagram, what I want you to know that space is room. Space is room. Space is room. Space, I translated in a human field, is the mind. It has endless space, the mind. That's the space. And everything happens in your mind. The mind is space. Space is mind. So a curved warped space diagram, I draw it several times, is like this. Time and space. This is the object, that mass that goes in space, and we call that a curved warped in space-time. That means that the formula, the equation for it is s squared equals ct squared minus x2. S means light. It's a path. It's a it's a light. It's a pathway. It's this, right? And the distance you can calculate by times, by speed, by space. Light times space. The distance gets out of speed times times. So that's the equation of a warped curve in space time. It's a space-time diagram. Space and time, that's the timeline, space-time, and you can locate it by do the equation of time and space. You know where the mass is. So that's the formula for it. So according to that diagram, that formula, I figured out that if that is true, or even an illusion, that all happens in our mind, because what they discover in space-time, that means for me instantly that this things also happens in our mind, right? So that means that S is I wrote it here down my notes. Is the path, is the light, and CT is speed times space, which you get the measure of the distance. right? Times, space, and here the distance. So that means that the object or matter that has this acceleration, this gravitational acceleration, must also be traveling through space-time. And that means so as human being. And then the question is, what causes the gravity? It's the mass. So, and gravity, as you know, is like, you have to imagine like let's say a trampoline, right? And in here it dips down, depress the area, and it causes the gravity. And according to the equation, I was capable that all that things happens in your mind too. That is, that you are the light. A human being is the light. His energy is the light, right? Light energy. S, light, the path, right? That's you. Now information, and you are a mass also. Your body is a mass, is an objective mass, right? And let's say this is the space, that's the area where all the possibilities can occur. So you are the mass, right? And you get influenced by information. It doesn't matter. Your mind gets influenced by information, most of the time subjective, through television, movies, radios, books, etc. And that bends or it creates a curved warp in your mind. It bends your mind that you go into a direction according to these influences, according to matter. Matter is this, and also information. Matter, information is the same thing, and you are the light and mass. So matter, information bends you in the physical translating. Matter bends space, creates a curved warp in space-time, and the same thing in the humanoid, or in the human, how I translate it in the human psychological field, that the mind is space. So matter and information, what we get in our daily life from radio, television, newspapers, movies, cinema, whatever, this matter, information bends your mind, and then according to that you bend space. You go, let's say, in this direction, right? Just you can go according to that information, according to the matter, you go in that direction. It could be any direction, but let's point out just this direction, right? And now let's say there are other people somewhere around, right? Independable. So don't forget that this area here is space. This area is space. This area is your mind. Mind is space. Free your mind. Mind is space. Everything happens in here, and what happens in here, you act up on it. You go in that direction according to that. So matter and information. Matter, information bends your mind. Remember, mind is space, and we say gravity is matter bends space. So matter bends mind. Matter, information is the same. It bends the mind, and the mind causes your body, which is your mass, to go in that direction. So let's say you're over here, you're the body, you're the light, you're the body, and you get daily informations, cinema, movies, news, magazines, information from all kinds of devices that bends your mind. It manipulates, it adjusts your mind, and according to that mind you act. So it accelerates your mass, which is your body, in let's say in this direction. Now you go in that direction. Now at the same time, at the same day, other people, they receive the same matter and information. It affects all human beings or not, right? But if some people affected through the matter and information, similarity with other people, they have the same result of it by when certain people get, there's always every day is sending out information, matter, through radio, through music, through magazines, through television, through TV, through media, and even social conversation, subjective social conversation. It bends your mind. Remember gravity? Matter bends space in time and space. So matter is information. Matter and mind and space is your mind. So information, matter is influencing, is adjusting, is manipulating your mind, and the result of what you make out of it in that mind, in that space, is it's accelerating your body in a certain direction. And you go this way. So every human, if humans are affected by the information, let's say here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say only with you 2 other people are affected, 1, 2, 3, they will go in the same direction. Matter bends space in the same direction. So what happens here is the gravity. And what causes gravity, right? It's mass. So you and the other 3 people are the mass, and the focal point goes in this direction. So here is, they are warping the mass, you and the other 3 people, warps in space-time. And the effect is to cause anybody, through matter information, to follow the straight line, which is actually a curved by space and time, right? And let me add to this at the end, is that gravity is an illusion. I hope you guys understood that. Let me write it down again real quick. I know I cannot spend too much time because YouTube doesn't allow too much time to upload. Gravity is matter bends mass in space-time. Right? That's the physics scientist theory, the nature phenomena. Now I translate that in the human being itself function of mind function in a psychological way. Is that matter is information, is equal information. Information bends means it's directing you, it's curving you, it's controlling you in a certain direction. That's bends. Mass is your body. human body in space-time, in your mind. Space, remember, is mind. So matter and information is the same. Bends, curved. Mass is the human body, and space is in your mind. So information bends the human body through the mind, in the mind. So when you have one person through the information, through information that comes out of the devices, television, radio, shows, music industry, media industry, all that, that matter accelerates you in a certain direction. And if there are many people, they go in that direction, in the same direction, right? It's creating this gravitational, curved, warped in space-time. So I hope now you understand what information is in a psychological field, in a human. What I'm explaining you here is the function of human nature, the human mind, body function in its daily living. So that it takes note that you have to understand that matter is information, that mass is your body, any body, and that space is your mind. Space is your mind, all right? Don't forget that. So matter and information manipulate, adjust, sway, control your mind, and by perception of that in your mind, it accelerates, it moves your body in that certain direction, right? And if a lot of people have the same direction, it causes a gravitational area, a dip in a depressed area, right? So that means that where a lot of people go, that's the main direction. If that makes sense? And I add at the end to that gravity is an illusion. Now listen to that carefully in that video. Thanks. All right.